Oh, you know what? I should resubscribe too.
Hello. That's how we're starting.
Hi.
We're resubscribing. We are not only
To
on
our own
the stream,
channel.
we're also mostly our own fans.
Yes,
So here we
we're
are
our biggest fans.
doing this
Someone
for
has to
ourselves.
love us.
But thank you for being here if you're out there, wherever you are in TV land.
Hello, Void.
Yes.
Hello, Void. I am shouting into you. Welcome again to another episode of DMs After Dark. With me, Christian, again. I'm sorry.
Again.
Again. Prior commitment. Hello. Love you too.
Hi.
That's funny. When you said that, Christian, all I could think was, hello, Twitch chat, my old friend.
We've come to play for you again.
That's right. Yeah, there it
Seconds.
is. Yeah, and we avoid copyright infringement.
The words are the lyrics are written. Okay, so we were unable to complete our finale for Good Society as we'd hoped to record. And as we always present ourselves as a real live role-playing group, anyone who's ever been involved with one of them knows that scheduling sucks. And so that got in the way. So we will have that hopefully by 2 weeks from now for you guys. But in the meantime, we're doing another one-shot minus the blisses for this. And for this week, we're doing another one that we pulled out of the Trans Rights Texas bundle that's still up on itch.io and still running, I think, to the end of March, but I'm not sure about that.
I can find out right now.
Yeah, if you want to check on that.
It's coming to a close.
But it is coming to a close, so if you're out there live and you're watching, you're interesting, it's totally worth it. It's like 500 games for $5, so go do it. Grandma Club, the game we played last time, was one of them. And this one also is Our God is Dead, which is written by Jordan Palmer. Jordan Palmer from Murder Publishing. And it is a great little comedy game. And we're going to play a bunch of clerics in a temple. And we're going to wake up one morning and find out that our God is dead, which sucks in and of itself. But there's a big festival coming up. What's up, Sarah?
If anyone is interested in the bundle, I just dropped it in chat. It is live for 9 more days.
Oh, all right. You got time.
So if you have any interest, 9 days from today, March 25th, go give it a buy because trans rights and RPGs.
Yeah.
Done. Trans rights are human rights.
Good.
Now we're here for chaos.
Yes, we are. So, yeah, our God is dead. We're clerics. We're in a temple. There's a big festival coming up. Our God is dead. What's great about this game, I actually had a chance to run this last Wednesday with our home group. We did a one-shot of it because some people weren't there, Sarah. And
how dare I be?
And we had a great
Called
time.
Called out.
Always. That's for all the shit you give me behind the scenes. So
I give it to you live too. What are you
do.
talking about?
So it's two-way street, baby. So, Our God is Dead. One of the great things about this is a lot of times when you're playing like a one-page RPG or a real rules light RPG, the hard thing is finding the drama. And you can create these characters, but you kind of have to like fumble around until you find a story, unless you have one. Some of them have these great things you roll on to create the story. What I like about Our God is Dead is it's very unique in that it just has a 3-act structure already built into it, where, we introduce our priests, we introduce the god, we're going to start, find out that God is dead, we're going to come up with some stupid plans to try to hide that fact, and at the end the festival comes and we have to narrate how everything just goes awfully wrong for us all. And that's all built in. And the other good thing about it is that collaboratively we're all going to create this as we go. So I'm just going to read the first part of this as we go.
Before you start, Christian,
go ahead.
I just want to point out, I mean, the 3-act structure being included in this game and making it perfect for a one-shot is something that we talked a little bit about on our Modified Roles episode that released today about how to prep and run one-shots, which is you really want to know about what the beginning, the middle, and the end is going to look like. So that way, if you have a time constraint, you know where you can kind of speed things up or do what you have to. But the 3-act structure really does say like, okay, like you got to get this done. So you do this next part and then this next part, it's just a
Lays
good.
it out for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's laid out for you. So, I think this is a particularly good game for you if you want to try DMing. Although it is a GM-less game, we're all going to be playing in it. We're all going to be playing characters in it. It's good for you if you wanted to get that practice of sort of, facilitating that narrative, but without necessarily having to take on all the responsibilities of being a GM, because other people are going to include it well. And also, you have a very nice track to run on here, where it's going to give you ideas. And for example, if I read here, introducing the characters. So play starts with everyone picking a scene to introduce their characters. Players will take turns narrating a short scene of their character in their home preparing for the day. Do not name your god or add too many details quite yet. This step is about who your character is. Make sure you reveal your name, your title, and role within your faith, and most importantly, a personal ritual you perform for your god. And then we just have some tips for good rituals. Number 1, make it personal. This is your way of showing devotion. Number 2, shine a light on how you feel about your god. Number 3, leave open-ended hints about what or who your god might be or do. And number 4, leave it vague and open for interpretation. And at the end of that ritual for each of us, something that doesn't usually happen is going to happen, which is that we don't get a response. So that's how we start. And once we've all done that scene, we're going to decide who or what our god is together. And that's how we lay the scene,
All right.
who our god is, what the festival is, etc. So does anyone
All
want to go
right.
first?
Oh no.
The heck just
My
happened?
camera.
no.
My
We lost
camera.
Jess.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no!
I can. Oh no.
I'm not
Taste
ready.
swap. I can switch this. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, it's not DMs After Dark if chaos doesn't happen. It's
Correct.
fine.
My camera's finicky. I moved the computer and my camera just switched off.
Hold on. You know what I'm gonna have to do?
Oh, how would
is-
I play Jess?
Yeah.
So Jess's characters go two ways: really bitchy or like really wholesome.
Yeah.
I'm right.
It's true.
Jess
No,
plays
it's
the
true.
bad guy really well.
You do
True.
play a bad guy really well, Jess. I will say that.
It's true.
I will concur. Okay, sure.
Although I will say your character from Avatar was pretty in the middle.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I didn't get to do a whole lot with her. I was leaning more towards the bitchy side, but
Yeah, she had sass, but we didn't really get to
Yeah.
do much with her rich fire.
I don't
Nation.
know. It's almost as if someone else took that whole game over with stupid dick jokes.
I was
don't know.
just gonna say
People do
I couldn't hold up to some of the other things going on.
I hate when that happens.
All right, I know. So I know you guys. I did read. I promise I read this PDF, and I know you guys had some ideas for your characters. I'm thinking about it now. I gotta make sure.
Yeah, not to put pressure, but why doesn't Sarah go first? Because she's got
I
got
did
the,
have an
the
idea.
most idea. For
That's
her.
I have an
okay,
idea
yeah.
too, but yeah, Sarah, you can.
Oh, are
definitely
you? Do you
go.
have a? Oh, that's right. This is a GMless game, so Christian, you have a character
I
too.
do,
Okay.
yeah.
I hadn't thought about the ritual. I had just thought about my character, but that's okay. I can finagle.
Oh, for the ritual. Okay, that's fine. Christian can go first.
I'll go first. Let me just finish repairing all the damage that was done here. And
As we wrestle with Jess's computer.
that's all right.
Another
This
shout
is-
out. I'm going to the fantastic fantasy name generators and just picking something ridiculous for my name. Here goes.
Nice.
Oh, you gotta. Shout out to Fantasy Name Generators. It is run by one woman. Her name is Emily,
Yeah.
and she is lovely and uses a lot of proceeds to benefit planting trees and combating deforestation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We love trees here.
Yes, we
We
do.
literally were just talking about them.
We
before
literally were just
stream.
talking about trees. Okay, we're back. Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. So, the morning dawns over the temple, and within the temple, there's quarters as well. So I don't know if it's like a rectory, maybe separate from the temple, or part of a larger temple. We'll decide that together. But within the temple, there are quarters, and in one of the nicer quarters, a man wakes up. And his room is very much in disarray. Clothing on the floor, particularly empty bottles all over the place. And he's a somewhat rotund man. He's got a big pot belly. He's a little disheveled looking as he kind of rolls out of bed. And 5 o'clock shadow, curly hair, but just like, kind of all over the place. Graying a little bit at the temples. And he wakes up and he rolls out of bed. And he kind of fumbles around with the bottles, and he finds one that's not even just a bottle, but like a mason jar with a very clear liquid, but it's a liquor. Surprise! In it, and
Liquor is a liquid.
He kind of stumbles to his feet and makes the holy sign and like takes a big sip of the liquor and just huzzah smashes it on the wall, the bottle, and then stumbles to his clothing. And is like kind of struggles to get on his official vestments that do not fit him the way they once did. So they look very nice, but they're getting kind of tight on him, and they're kind of covered in like some wine stains and stuff now. And then he leaves, and as he leaves, there are a couple of younger priests or acolytes in the hallway, and they're all very deferential to this man as he walks down the hallway, and he gets into the main chapel of the church, and walks up to the altar and kneels, and this is the part I didn't think about. He takes out, I'm going to say he takes out a little pouch, and in the little pouch is a little bit of dust, and he says a prayer over the altar, and he sprinkles some of the dust over the altar, and then he kind of steps back as if he is expecting something, but nothing happens. And altar boy is doing a walk of shame. Jesus, Ray, and stuff. Okay. he goes, "Oh, this is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. I must find someone." And he puts his pouch back in, and he kind of stumbles out. His name was Konstantin Velementov.
Fancy name.
That's
And
his
what
name.
is what is his title?
Constantine is one of the senior priests at the temple, but it's really more of an honorary title. He doesn't do much other than drink corn alcohol. You're welcome, Amber. Because
Nice.
at one time he was like an adventuring priest. So he was a cleric. He is a cleric.
Okay.
And he did a lot of great things for the church, particularly adventuring. But those days are behind him. And now he mostly is kept on kind of as a figurehead, but also to, share some stories of the glory days.
Nice.
I actually, Sarah, I know you had an idea, so it'll give me more time to flesh out mine, but
Okay. Yeah.
if you don't mind.
So around a similar time, pretty early in the morning, this fairly young woman walks out of the common sleeping room for all the acolytes. She's pretty tall, has short, like a black pixie cut going on. And she wanders around the temple, specifically going through some of the back hallways, and she is checking all of the rat traps. And every time there is one, she picks it up and plops it in a bag, then resets the trap, and then kind of keeps going. She does a small little lap of the area and then finally goes out to the garden, where she goes and kind of sits in the back, and it's one of those like garden graveyard combo places, and goes to like a small little corner that she's kind of made up herself. There's like a little like stick and twig altar she made back there. And she gets her little trowel that she hid back there because she's not supposed to have personal stuff as an acolyte, but she kept a trowel, and digs up a little hole, and then buries the dead rats with the dead rats she picked up a couple weeks before during her rounds, and just kind of fills them in their little graveyard, and then kind of clips the plants that are near it to keep it clean. And then she kind of puts her hands in front of the altar, and like as she prays, she kind of like rubs some blades of grass between her hands just because it feels nice. And then she kind of just waits, and nothing happens. So she tries again, prays a little harder, and nothing. So she starts to get nervous, and so this young acolyte Bree gets up and walks back into the temple, kind of hands all twitchy.
Oh no. Jess, would you like to go or
Yeah, I have an idea if that's okay, Rainey.
go for it?
Okay. So mine is kind of the night before. There is this probably middle-aged woman. Her hair is like it's very, very close cut. It's almost like completely shaved, except for like a little stubble of hair. She's like got tattoos all over her body. She is a very intense woman. She is like die hard for this god, right?
Hell
She's
yeah.
very intense.
yeah.
She is a traveler. She's got a little makeshift sort of hut that she's made in the woods. She kind of travels from town to town, trying to kind of recruit new people to the faith. She's a very, very serious woman. Her name is Cicely. And she kind of goes in and walks into her little makeshift hut. She's got various clippings of different types of plants and trees. And she brings it over to this little altar that she's made. And she sets it on fire, watches the smoke, and kind of looks at it curiously, like something is wrong.
Okay.
And does she have a title, or is she just the traveling priest?
She's just kind of like a recruiter. She's kind of recruiting new people to the
All
faith.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like what Velamentov might have been at one point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before he became a fat drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like the opposite of that guy.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Once I was like you, young lady.
Christian, is your character's name not Constantine? Is that his last name?
It's Konstantin Velamentov.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with Constantine. All right. So my character also the night before, because the big ceremony is tonight, or is the day of. So the night before, we see my character. She is going through her. We see her emerge from a back room in her small little residence, whatever that may look like. And we see in that room hanging herbs that are drying, and we see barrels of oil that are sitting there, and there's things stuck in them. And we see she emerges out to this other room with windows, and hanging from those are candles that are slowly being made and dripping. And she's a chandler, and she makes candles. She smells like perfumes and oils and incense, and we see that she has this long simple dress on with like an interesting little pattern on it. She's got Birkenstocks on, and her hair is so matted and just messy that it's like basically dreadlocked, and it's all tied back into like one big clump, and petite little thing. And she just kind of walks over, and she does a nightly ritual. Maybe she's collected a few of the candles she likes, and she brings them to an altar near near the church or what have you, the temple. She sets them on the stairs, so anybody who wants to come to the temple at night can find their way by following the candles. And so she set them up, and she breaks out her long piece of flammable. Jess is going to switch again.
No.
But she brings out her long
How did that
flammable
happen?
basically match,
Good.
and she lights it, and she goes to light her candles. And the first one doesn't light. Like the wick is, maybe she thinks maybe the wick's wet. Okay, I'll come back to that one. She goes to the next one down the line. Doesn't light. She walks to the next one. None of her candles are lighting. And eventually we see the match burn down to her finger before she finally has given up, and she's walked almost all the way back to her little house. And she just drops the match, and she just looks up at the night sky, and she just goes, "The lights have gone out."
Nice.
Oh, her name is Zaya.
Zaya, Z-I-A.
Z-Y-A, yep.
Very nice.
And for a title, I had The Kindler, but, whatever.
Very nice. So that's everyone. So now what we would do next is putting it all together. Right? After all the characters have been revealed, it's time to reveal who your god is, or rather was. Work together and use the rituals and details made during character creation as inspiration for coming up with who your god really is. Who is your god? What is your god's domain or role within the community? Actually, we'll take these one at a time. So okay. I took some notes, just kind of wrote down the stuff that we all had kind of mentioned in our rituals. So I've got alcohol in mine, but also the powder, which could tie back into what the rest of the stuff, because we have plants, grass, corn, rats, candles, light, scents, like the smell of something, scents.
Oils, perfumes. Yep.
Oils, perfumes, right. So I'm thinking like what Velamentov could have been putting on the counter, or the altar could have been like some sort of incense or a spice or something that smelled nice. So that's kind of what we all used. And corn in honor of the blisses.
Oh, the
We'll just throw that in. Yeah.
So everyone mentioned in one way or another, like plants.
Right. So it says, so
Because
the first
You
question
had
is,
the corn. I went in the garden. Both of them had like the dried herbs and stuff burning. And
And you know what? That the rats could be a happy accident. I don't want to say what Bree is up to, but I mean, like, if these rats are dying because they're eating our plants.
oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you set traps because they can't eat our plants, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, normally we would say we don't want them to eat our plants, but maybe they're dying because they're eating the plants. Because
even more of a sign.
Something's gone
Or-
wrong. Yeah.
Or we're burying rats as like fertilizer for our plants.
Oh God.
That's a Bree decision, I think.
Eat this rat fruit. We grew it from dead rats. All right. So who is our God? What is our God's role in the community? That's the first one. What is your God's domain or role within the community? We'll start there and we'll come up with the rest of it afterwards.
Should we do like a harvest god or like?
So it could be a harvest. Interestingly, harvest is very close to what was the festival the first time we played.
I mean, it could literally just be a god of nature. Just a plant god. Because Jess's was, you were burning it. So like, I don't know if like we find so much the plants themselves sacred as, you know what I mean? The signs within it, dead rats could be a sign of something going on in nature.
Okay. So just like in nature. So, nature would encompass like a harvest and all that stuff too. So,
I mean, if we want to go broadly, like the cycle of life, like how everything lives, grows, and dies, and that's just like that's it, man.
That's good.
It should also be hilarious since the god is now dead. And it's like
cycle. I say we go for cycle of life. I really like that.
So it's the circle. Nope. That'll definitely get us caught.
Rainy,
Just
do you mind just dumping these in the
just
chat
have,
as we
like-
write them down? So our God is a god, our God or goddess, because it could be a goddess.
Our god is a plant. Never mind.
Cycle
Sorry,
of life.
I'm full of it.
Hey,
God.
I went to Catholic school. What year are you going for?
Yep.
What is your God's temperament or personality like?
Detached.
Yeah, I have an idea for that, and it goes right along those lines because we looked like we were all looking for signs somehow, right? I put the smelly stuff on the altar and waited for something to happen. You tried to light the candles.
But like, if our God was normally detached, wouldn't we be like, "Oh, this is normal"?
Yeah, this isn't
True. But if
Good
it was
old God's not responding.
they never. Again, bad connection.
Yeah. Now try again
That's
next
fair.
week.
That's fair.
Whatever, it happens.
Maybe they're like lightly hands-on, where like they give little signs.
Yes.
They're not one of big spectacles. It's just the little things.
Yeah, so you would get little signs or an expectation of some sort of something, and we're getting like either nothing or bad omens, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in our normal prayers, he either swings things more towards life or more towards death. You know what I mean? And the fact that nothing is happening is terrifying.
Okay, so
I like
we're gonna
that.
say our God is normally subtle. Is that
Shy? Is that
Shy?
government? Like,
I like,
subtle,
yeah.
shy is good? Shy could be a nature god.
Shy.
Shy, if it's like a nicer aspect of the circle of life, it's detached.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't mean that their detachment from normal things would not be. I think that even though, like, yeah, if we say that it can speed up or slow down the cycle of life, you know what I mean? Then it's rewarding to those who are faithful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the fact that none of us feel younger the second we do our rituals is you know what I mean? But how would you describe that? Not rewarding, you know what I mean?
Caring, like nurturing.
Nurturing.
Nurturing's good.
Yeah. And
One day
some
it would be
say-
funny to do this with an evil god, actually, wouldn't it? When you think about it.
Some would say that there is a certain aspect of nurturing in, being gently brought to the beyond. You know what I mean?
I was like being gently pushed towards death.
We're just gonna, give you a
again-
little arsenic. It's good. It's good. You get used to it.
But in a wholesome, kind way. I understand, right?
Since we put it in this tea, it's gonna taste really nice.
Yeah, I understand, right?
Yeah.
Like slow
listen to this
aging
music and
instead
just
of like
die.
speed up cancer. I understand.
Yes.
Right.
Or like speed it up while you're asleep, and then that way you go out and then, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Go out without pain.
yeah.
All right. So our
Yeah,
God is usually
nurturing
nurturing.
works.
Nurturing works. Okay. So we got nurturing. Next question: does your God or goddess have any special name or honorific?
Ooh, the hourglass.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's really
I
good.
like
like
it.
that.
I like it.
And actually, that could be really interesting because, if you do candles right, you can like burn it, and so that
Yep.
way, as it melts, it goes into another thing, and it just makes a new thing. So, like, I probably just rotate my things, and fire is not only destructive, but it allows things to grow from it. Like pine forests need to be burned down regularly,
Science
and
nerd.
to regrow. Yeah, I mean, but like everything about that is the end is not the end kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Rebirth,
yeah, it's kind
yeah.
of like the flipping of an hourglass.
Nice. I like it.
Love it.
Okay. What symbols or depictions are okay, wait, hold on a minute. Does your God have a specific name? I skipped over one. Does your God or goddess have a specific name?
No, I thought the hourglass was their name.
A special name.
Because
Yeah.
that the next question is what symbols or depictions are associated. That could be the hourglass.
Mhm.
I don't know. We can just go with. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean,
that's
honestly,
fine.
a god like that would be very mysterious anyway.
So it's
you know what I
just the
mean?
hourglass. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not
Maybe
only a symbol,
only
but it's a
like-
name.
Maybe only like the one or two people in charge of the temple know the true
name.
name.
Nice.
Our god or goddess is the prince of gods or goddesses, where it's just a symbol.
I like that actually too.
The artist formerly known as the Hourglass.
Yeah, the goddess formerly known as. Is she a god or
Our
a
God's
goddess?
true name is Marv.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh, no.
Veto.
Yeah, Vito for sure. Yeah.
What's the matter with
Not
Marv? Oh,
Cornelius.
If anything, it's Betty.
Yukon Cornelius would be good.
Oh, Betty.
Oh, Yukon.
Yukon Cornelius. Yeah,
I
just
don't
throw it back.
know.
He hasn't made an appearance in a while, actually.
He has not.
Okay. So we're just gonna
I
go
don't
with
know, guys.
Hourglass. There's a secret name, but
Barnyard.
we're not high enough into Barnyard Billy Billingham. What stories or legends are linked to your god's identity?
Ooh.
That's the last one.
Maybe our god or goddess is the only reason. Like maybe there's like tales of, like apocalypses or whatever. You know what I mean? Like big mass extinctions, and she's the only reason that things came back.
I was gonna say I'm gonna add to that too of that because the hourglass is also like a balance, it's almost like a symbol of balance. So
Flipped
maybe
on its side, it's infinity.
maybe our god or goddess's purpose is to maintain that balance right between life and death. So that makes them not being around anymore raises the stakes a lot. Because if they're God, it's just like chaos now in the universe, right? They're the maintainer of order, of an orderly transition between life and death, and kind of the
Yep.
cycle of life.
And maybe if we die this time, we die for good.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like elves in D&D. How like there can't be enough more elves than there are souls in the elven
Yep.
realm or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a fun actual lore
I didn't know
fact.
that.
of
It is.
Forgotten Realms.
It is indeed. Yeah.
Elves reach a population capacity,
And they reincarnate.
and when they get old, they have like traumatic visions of all of the lives they've lived, and they start going crazy. And so they do what animals do, and they just like want to wander off and die. Like they just want to do it. Like they want to get away from everybody. Yeah, it's really sad, but it's also really cool lore.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool lore.
Sarah's
Sick
face
lore,
right
bro.
now. Sorry.
Right. So all right. So
Who'd
our
have
God
thought
is like
I come in with the D&D lore.
Right,
Guys
yeah,
are
I
like,
know.
5e
Hold on.
sucks. And I'm like, Forgotten Realms though.
I mean, Forgotten
Shit on
Realms
that.
crosses like tons of
Forgotten Realms doesn't suck that bad.
Forgotten Realms doesn't
Yeah.
that bad.
No, it doesn't. It really does. It has a lot of good lore in it. It really does.
Anyway,
Anyway.
let's talk about our god.
Hey, let's talk about our God in our world. So, all right. So, so we've got the hourglass, cycle of life, maintains the balance, mysteriously no name, or we don't know the name. We just call her or her the hourglass, and that's about it. So that's all we need to know for now.
All right.
So let's pick up from there and say, we don't need to get to Act 2. Actually, yeah, this would be the beginning of Act 2 or the end of Act 1 where we got to find each other and talk about what the hell's going down. So I think it seems like Velementov and Bree are at least on the temple grounds, so they would be the first probably to find each other before the other two wandered on. Does that sound right?
This is before our big ritual?
Well, the big rituals are coming, yeah. Yep.
I think Zaya spent all night just like
trying to light
starting
everything
from scratch. Starting from scratch, like melting stuff down. She couldn't even melt stuff down. She's just in panic mode. She's just like, oh, my candles. She's just grabbing as much as she can. She tries to make a whole.
So
new
the interesting
batch of
thing
candles.
is none of us are in the upper echelons of the church, and
I thought you were. No?
well, I
You were
am, but nobody
senior.
really takes me seriously.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
just
you're
there as
drunk.
like,
because you're drunk.
so I'm a drunk, right? So
You've got tenure. I got it.
basically, I'm just kept
That's
around
accurate.
because I was an adventurer back in the day, but now they're like he's an embarrassment, but we trot him out now and then to talk about how he cast flame strike on some goblins. So let's.
but
I think Velementov and maybe we trying to talk to the elders, but kind of getting pushed off first, and not having anyone to turn to would be funny.
So here's a question: is it because the elders also know something's wrong, or is it
But don't
because
want to
everyone
admit
else
it.
is just bullshitting it, and everybody else is a bullshitter, fair weather faith kind of person, and we're the
Yes.
only legit believers?
There you go. I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. That's perfect.
Nice.
Okay. So why don't we start with if my
And
character
then we sound crazy because if we come in and we're just like, something's wrong, the hourglass is broken, and people are just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I like it.
No,
That's
she's
perfect.
not, and we're like,
I like that. So also, by the way, as we create these scenes, feel free to add details like Rainey just did. And this is the great thing about GMless games. Everybody can contribute. Also create NPCs and play them. So if you want to create a couple of church elders to yell at my character right now and shoo him out of the office where I can meet Bree. That's a great way to start. Do we want to just do that?
yeah, that's actually not bad. You're the only person with access to the
Yeah.
the
So
rectory
let's
or
say
whatever.
who wants to be an elder? Who am I doing this with? Who am I starting with?
Elder.
Hands.
Jess plays a good villain.
You do, Jess. You want to just be your
Good villain.
you do. This is your chance to just be a jerk to me.
Oh, embrace that, Jess.
I know. Take it.
You don't have to. I could do it.
Just trying to think what a elder persona would be.
Being mean to
Okay.
him doesn't have to be being mean. It can be being pitying when he
Right.
doesn't deserve to be. You know what I mean?
I'm
That's
a
such an
chubby
elder
old
priestly
drunk.
thing to do. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just look at him and just be like, "You're lost, son." You know what I mean?
All right. Elder named Agamemnon.
Agamemnon. I love it. What is Agamemnon doing?
He's sitting on a very large chair. It's very uncomfortable. He's got a cushion that he's kind of squishing in all sorts of ways to try and get more comfortable, but it's not working.
love
And he's been here far too long. And he's just, people come to him for advice, and he just sits here all day long, and he grows tired.
So as you're sitting there all day long, and this is just the beginning of what you know is going to be a long day sitting in this fucking uncomfortable chair, and in walks Choppy, disheveled. His priestly vestments are too tight on him. He looks like he had a rough night, just like every time you've ever seen him. Konstantin Velementov. And he
Are
kind of
you
hustles.
lost, Konstantin?
No, no, Elder Agamemnon. No, it is extraordinary. It is not right. It is not. I'm telling you. This morning I prayed as I always do, and I spread these pouch that I carry on my chest of the sacred scents on the altar, and I prayed to the hourglass as I always do, and I did not sense them. I did not sense the presence.
The presence of whom?
The presence of the hourglass, the sacred one. There's something is very wrong.
Perhaps you are not trying enough, Constantine. How much have you had to
That
drink
is such
today?
a freaking priest thing to say. It just only just a little bits.
Perhaps if you drank less, you would hear her call.
I do not.
When
Some
is
of
the
us.
last time you had a clear day?
Well, I mean, define clear.
The liquor was clear. Most of my days are clear only days.
Constantine, I'm sure everything is fine. You need not worry everyone else. Her call is as strong as ever. Every day is the same.
Continues to shift under his butt.
Yeah, it's just under
Every
the
day is the same.
Very well, Agamemnon. I will.
Find something to clean in the temple, and I'm sure
I will-
her call will return to you.
I will prepare for the ceremony tonight.
Yes. Yes.
As he walks
Great
out,
event,
he reaches
just like
into his
every other.
he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out a flask and like takes a sip with his back to you so you don't see it. It kind of puts it back and comes out. And as he walks out, he sees Bree in the hallway. If that's all right with you, Sarah.
Yeah, she's probably just like wandering wide-eyed and confused. And you would all know Bree is not the smartest, but she means well. So that's why they've kept her.
You just hear Agamemnon's like voice as like he goes out and don't come back for another 24, 48. Don't come back for another week.
Once I was somebody.
You're a body.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh,
That's
hello.
so sad.
Hello, Bree.
Hi.
How are you?
It's bad. I think I messed up this morning. Can you,
What?
my,
You must come
my-
with me. He takes you into like a alcove, and he's like, "What? You must tell me. What is it?"
Well, the altar with the garden and the graves.
No, but I
I-
know like you. Which please go on.
So I did my normal thing, and I, cleaned up the dead rats, and I brought them out, and then I got everything clear, and I sat down and I prayed, and then nothing happened, and I think the hourglass is mad at me, and I don't know what to do.
Oh, he just kind of leans back against the alcove, and when he does that, there's a statue of an hourglass that he kind of hits, and it starts rocking. And he doesn't notice. He just pulls his flask out again and takes a sip.
This is why the hourglass hates us.
Yeah. He stops it. He stops it, and he's like, "I will. Would you like some?" He offers you some booze.
What is it?
Corn alcohol. It's really good.
Oh,
It's not good at all. Yeah. Okay.
What is it? It's faith. It's liquid faith.
It's liquid faith and courage. So, I believe you. This morning, every morning I wake up, I go to the altar and I have these sacred scents. They were given to me once by an angel of the hourglass on an adventure. I was deep in the dungeon and I had a vision. Nobody believes me. Agamemnon doesn't believe me, but these scents, they are sacred. I spread some on the altar every single morning. The pouch is never depleted. This morning I spread some on the altar. Usually there's this heavenly scent and I feel the presence of the hourglass. I did not feel it this morning.
maybe she's mad at all of us.
I don't know what I could have done for her to be mad at me.
He says with hesitation.
Why don't we go ask the lady in the woods? She's usually like got a good
Yes,
a good vibe.
I spoke to. Yeah, we might have to. I like her. She reminds me of me when I was young. Listen. The elder is kind of useless.
That's not nice.
I know, but it's true.
If you
If
want,
I still had my spells, I would smite them.
I just imagine like a voice in the distance just saying, "Faith hears you everywhere, my friend."
But you're right. Let us go speak to the one in the woods. Sicily, right? Sicilini?
Sicily.
Oh, right. Yes.
And I would like to imagine that as we're walking out, that's when we run into Zaya.
actually, I was going to
Fire.
say Zaya is running also towards Sicily because she sees smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire.
There's
and what she
fire.
can't do is make fire, so she's running to the smoke.
Nice.
desperately. And she's just got her arms like full of candles. She's just like running, just dropping them. She loses a Birkenstock. She turns around. She goes to pick up her Birkenstock. She drops a bunch of candles. She grabs her candles. You see her.
It's good you're going towards the smoke because Cicely has now burned her entire hut. Trying to get a bigger sign.
Is there still a flame, Cicely?
Like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I just chuck one of my candles in it. And you smell Zaya way before you see Zaya. She just smells like she's been bathing in perfumes and oils and incense, and she's always around things that are smelly. So a waft on the wind, and you see running up behind you. And before I even say hi to Cicely, Zaya just kind of just like grabs and just like throws a candle in and just watches it land. The wick does not light and it just starts melting. And she's like, oh shit, oh that's bad, oh goodness. And I look over at Cicely, and Zaya just looks and she looks up. I imagine Cicely's probably taller than Zaya, so she looks up at her and she just goes like, that's not good. Is
Your
there
candle?
more not good?
No.
Your house?
It's fine. I'll just build another one. Everything's wrong. Something's not right.
Something's definitely not right. And I just shove a candle in your face. I'm like, smell this. It doesn't smell like anything. All of the perfumes and all of the oils and all of the herbs and all of the everything just does not smell. It just smells like wax.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is bad.
Oh no. Maybe I need a bigger fire. How big is your home?
You know what? We could try and set it on fire. I can't start a fire at all. None of these light. Watch. And I walk over to the little bit of a smoldering flame, and I'm just holding the wick in front
It just
of it.
moves away
nothing.
from you.
Yeah,
It just goes out dead spot.
I can't do it. It's not going. I'm the kindler. That's my job. I can't do it.
God.
As they're having this conversation, they just hear Bree coming up in the distance. Smelly lady's here too.
I very good. Hold on, I'm coming. These trees are, it's kind of spinning a little bit, but I'll be there in a minute. Just bear with me.
Okay.
Just little hair of the dog. Okay. There.
You're from the temple, right?
Yeah, we came to look for you.
Oh,
Things are bad.
Things are bad.
so it's happening at the temple too?
I just shove a candle in your face.
It's a nice color.
Doesn't smell like anything.
Oh, you wanted me to hold on. Huh.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
That's not
Yeah.
good.
Okay. I am here. Ladies, at your service.
Wasn't there a house here?
That's not important.
Okay.
There was. It's gone. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Such faith you have, Cicely.
Thank you. I'm glad you noticed.
Yes, I respect it. It reminds me when I was your age. It's my faith. It burned like a fire like this.
Well, speaking of, is anybody else not exactly getting a little bit of...
No, I am not.
I mean, yeah. No. I'm not getting anything either.
Me neither.
This is
I
bad.
tried to talk to the elder, but Agamemnon, he just shooed me off like he always does. This is not right. I remember him when he was just an acolyte.
Does he remember you?
Of course he does. I was adventuring. He used to
the
polish my
hourglass-
mace.
The hourglass statue almost fell too. It's
Yes.
normally like rock sturdy because it's a rock.
Right.
Guys, I don't want a single brain cell tonight.
Right.
Nice.
But listen. The festival is tonight.
I mean, if there was ever a clear sign, then
Everybody
one
is going
then.
to be there.
I'm supposed to light a lot of candles.
The king
can't
is
light one.
expecting a sign. And if there is no sign, What does that tell us of the year to come? It'll be chaos. Everything will fall into chaos.
Maybe.
This just can't happen. Maybe.
Maybe what?
Saya?
What?
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something, Saya.
I can't. I'm not. What if nothing works?
We can't think like that. Of course it'll work.
This
This is just a fluke.
But the hourglass has never done this. And if the hourglass is gone, then there is nothing maintaining the balance between chaos and order, life and death.
We've all been
We
loyal,
are cast
right?
adrift. He sits
No,
down
we're
again and
standing on
drinks.
the ground.
On the sands of time.
No, this is
Sand
dirt.
to an hourglass.
These are the days of our lives. I used to love that show.
Uh,
I used to watch with my grandma when I got home from school.
Well, that's a saucy show to be watching.
I didn't get. Listen, all I remember from it is that someone got like thrown into a grave, buried alive, and the only person she saw that did it was like some dude dressed as an evil clown.
I'm surprised soaps didn't come up more on Grandma Club.
Yeah, that's true. Well, those grandmas were,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, we were a different kind of
They
grandma.
were very different grandmas.
So does it? Maybe we should talk about what were you doing for the ritual tonight? Can anybody help me? I look over at Cicely. I'm just like, you're really good at fires. Maybe we can like trick my candles into lighting.
Maybe. I was going to burn a sacrifice, but we can burn them over your candles. But you're the kindler. Don't you have to light them somehow?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Can we
I
really
was-
trick the hourglass?
I was just
Well,
supposed to be on stage with all the other idiots.
We all look at Bree.
Yeah, we all look at Brie.
What? What'd I do?
What are you supposed to do tonight for the ritual?
Oh, I'm supposed to get there early with all the other acolytes and start setting everything up and putting all the plants together. And to make sure like no wild animals get in the area. Because we're only supposed to have the animals here for the sacrifices, not the rest of them.
Okay.
So this
So,
is I'm
go
going
ahead.
to read this is pretty much we're beginning the second act on our own.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read what it says here. The celebration, Act 2. The second act is where you start making plans and putting them to action. This will be the longest act, so have fun with it and get into lots of trouble in preparation for the final act. Admitting that your god has died just before the celebration is much too great of an embarrassment to bear. All eyes are on you, and you must convince the world your god is still alive. Start by hatching plans with other characters. Anyone can jump in and suggest a new scheme or add ideas to the current scheme. Here are some tips for role-playing. Be paranoid. Assume everyone suspects you're hiding something. Make plans that are convoluted and overly ambitious. Shouldn't be a problem for us. Narrate your mistakes as over the top as possible. Don't make succeeding your goal. Focus on the chaos. And feel free to narrate the actions of non-player characters.
Man,
So
we're playing a game that specifically says focus on the chaos and both blisses.
I
are
know,
like-
right?
I know.
And I'm here by myself. For every plan made, make sure that every player has at least one thing they're responsible for that is absolutely essential to pulling everything off. Together, decide on 2 to 4 plans that not only are a great addition to
Okay.
the celebration, but also are sure to fool everyone, even might involve a fake miracle or two. And here's the last part that we didn't get into earlier is determining outcomes. So we all have one 6-sided die with us. And after everyone has had a chance to concoct their schemes, it's time to decide on the first plan. Choose which one you want to see at the table and make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to do. When you're ready, roll your 6-sided die and just leave it face up on the table. Players take turns executing their part of the plan clockwise in a circle. When it's your turn, declare what you're going to do and roll your die. If you roll greater than the previous roll, so remember you rolled a die and left it out when you started, the action mostly goes according to plan and you get to narrate how you pull it off. If you roll a 6, you additionally get to re-roll the die, and that's just to give the next person in line a chance, because they wouldn't be able to roll it higher than a 6. And if you rolled equal to or less than your previous result, it's a failure, and you have to narrate exactly how you mess up your part in the plan. When you roll a 1, this means you really botched it. If any of the other players succeed, you have to choose one of them and narrate how your mistake also made problems for them.
So
So that's how the rules were written. What we wound up doing to make it a little quicker is like I'll go like let's say I went first, right? I would roll the die. I tried to beat myself, but we just use then that roll. So let's say I rolled a 4, then Rainy, you have to beat a 4, and that kind of escalates
exactly
the chaos
what I was gonna
because
say.
sooner or later somebody gets a roll they can't beat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say was
Yeah.
that seems like more sense to me.
Mhm.
But okay, so
And it made things a little quicker. So we need to come up with a couple plans. But I think we were already
So-
there where we were role playing.
that
So
we're
we could
all
just-
involved in though.
Everybody has to be
Yeah.
involved in. Yeah. So I say
Wait,
let's do 2.
So
Because that should take us through to, our usual 9:30-ish time if we have 2 plans and a final act.
Okay.
okay, so it sounds like, right, if this god is not here and if the sign doesn't come, everything will break out into chaos. And we want everything to not break out into chaos. And we want
Right.
everyone to believe that the goddess is still alive or the god is still alive and that everything is fine and everything is normal while we figure out other stuff later. So we're buying ourselves more time.
Right.
So what if the actual big, well, I know Sarah, you had an idea for the big ritual tonight, right? But what if the actual big ritual is like there's this giant hourglass, right? And it has enough sand in it for maybe like a year. And every single year, right, the big ritual is that
that's
we flip it, right?
awesome.
And then the sand
That's
starts
so
falling,
good.
and then all this stuff starts to happen, right? Like candles start getting lit and maybe like some sort of miracle or sign.
Such a great idea.
I love it. I
That's
love it. I
so
love it. I
good.
love it.
That's
But-
so good.
But maybe something is going wrong. And so I don't know, maybe there's cracks or I don't know what could go wrong with this
So-
ceremony, but
Well, I would say
So
that
we
we
need
flip
to
it. But
fix-
what if like when you flip the hourglass, it's just like a lot of our rituals we're doing like something very common and mundane, but we were expecting something to happen and that thing didn't happen, right? We didn't feel the presence of the hourglass. So maybe there is, like you said, there's a big hourglass and we flip it back over, so it's another year. But usually when that happens, there are like signs and portents and miracles that happen, and
They're
people
just
are expecting that.
People
and
read
it
into
doesn't-
it too.
yeah,
Like
and if it doesn't happen, then there's going to be, it's just going to dissolve in the chaos. Particularly because, Villamentov said the king is going to be there, right? So I think that also could be like a big thing of like, legitimizing his rule for the year, right?
so I have an idea. You said, Jess, when we flip it to start the new year, that's when all the candles go on, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm supposed to have rigged like all the candles, and from like right underneath it, we light it as they start to do it. So like a fuse kind of goes and lights all of the candles.
Like dynamite.
But
Yeah.
that sounds
Like,
like
for
a plan, because what
It
if the
sounds like a
candles
plan.
usually, what if the
Yeah,
candles lit
exactly.
on
What
their
if-
own, right?
we need to make
Usually.
sure that they happen.
Yeah, you have to make sure that we have to make sure all
Yeah.
these things
So
happen.
that's the backup, is like instead of them all lighting themselves, which is normally probably what would have happened, right? Like I light one and they all start flickering on, and I had to run to be like, which one is supposed to start it? Which one is supposed to start it?
Mhm.
But I couldn't find it. Now this year I'm gonna have to make a fuse that like flowers out to light as many candles as possible artificially, which makes
we
sense
should
as
just
to what
we should
me
be
and
role playing.
Cicely were talking about.
This is brilliant. Okay, so
Also, I do want to give a big shout out to Ray and stuff in chat who just said y'all are about to weekend at Bernie's, the divine embodiment of life
Yes.
itself.
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I chose the wrong character for this
Wow.
because like my character is actually very
Wow.
serious and intense, but like I'm freaking out because our god is dead, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
It's fine.
All right.
No.
So listen. It's Ken. I'm sure this is just. Hold on a minute. Okay, I am sure that this is just a. Maybe the hourglass is busy, right? Maybe something extraordinary is going on. Maybe there's a threat to reality itself it's dealing with. But we have the rituals tonight. People are going to expect the candles tonight. People are going to expect the miracles. People are going to have to listen to Agamemnon's boring speech. What are we going to do?
But we can't do anything about Agamemnon's speech. That's
I could
just
kill
how
him.
we do-
I mean, if we thought it would help.
I don't think that's
I don't
Maybe the
think that would-
hourglass does not like Agamemnon.
let's focus more on the things that are supposed to happen. Maybe Bree, you're good at plants, right?
Yeah.
Could you make like thin strands, like thin ropes that are flammable? Cicely,
I
you're
know
really
how
good
to-
at fire, right?
I know how to braid grass.
Will it burn?
Grass burns usually.
Yeah, dried grass should burn.
Yeah. Maybe we should light that so it lights my candles so nobody suspects anything. Like
So-
when they
so-
don't light.
So like make like a long grass and
Like
Very
a
attach.
real
right.
long, like a real
Yeah.
long grass. Like a lot of long grass.
A lot.
Okay.
What are we doing?
I need a basket.
Ah, I can get you a basket.
Okay.
Yes. I know the people who weave the the things that go around the bottles of wine where you can like hang them. I know someone who does that. I can hook you up.
I can hook you up. Yeah. So for this plan, I think that that is Zaya's basically going, okay, I just start like as you start churning it out, I start tying it around candles, and like we start like slowly putting candles all around the altar with the hourglass.
People are already in there preparing for the ritual. We need to. It seems like some of them do not realize. Maybe they are not as faithful as we thought. They do not realize that the hourglass has deserted us.
Maybe the hourglass is just mad at us.
That's impossible. What have I ever done?
I know I'm as faithful as ever.
So,
Samesies.
Constantine,
what?
perhaps as the elder priest, perhaps if knock on wood, knock on plant, whatever.
You
Perhaps
can't knock on wood. Your house burned down.
Ugh.
There's a
You're
tree,
right.
and Zaya just hits it.
Oh, right. We're in the woods.
Knocks on Bree's head.
Hollow.
Perhaps as the senior priest, if things start to go wrong, perhaps you can make a cover-up speech that will distract and deter
Excellent.
and
And in the
ensure
meantime,
the faith of
I will
all
speak
those
of
there.
the glory days of the faith, and it'll
Exactly,
be
yes.
extraordinary. It'll be marvelous, and people will return to the old ways. But in the meantime, I will compose that. But in the meantime, I will get them out of the ritual area so you can do what you need to do with the ropes.
Yes.
Is that the second plan?
So the first plan is I think the ropes and
Yep.
light. So I think we should try to fake a couple of miracles because that would be pretty
Yeah.
funny. So the lighting of the candles on their own is one. What could be another one?
I kind of like the idea of just like from pulling back before, like when the hourglass is being like flipped over, maybe it's a little bit shaky and it like wobbles a little bit, and then we
Can you
set
imagine if
right.
it just breaks?
or cracks? I know.
Yeah,
What do we
yeah.
do? That
Shattered,
we just patch it
and
up.
we're just like,
we just turn it. We just turn it so that
That's
like
more. Listen, that's more.
Ooh,
Let's
wait,
save that.
maybe
for,
the
like the
hourglass-
other side of the
Wait,
Christmas tree.
What if the hourglass turns itself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Over
'Cause it's
time,
magical.
over the course of
We're
the year,
just-
it's
and
supposed
we're
to-
just there
and
to
like
see
right
it
there is when the
move.
last sand grain goes to tip it. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
it's not going to do that tonight.
yeah. So, but the thing is,
That's the thing right there.
oh yeah, that's true.
Because
It's
if we
not gonna
screw
tip.
that
It's
up,
gonna
it's
just
not going
stay
to
on its
tip,
side.
and then so we're going to have to try to tip it.
Oh man. Okay.
Put your
gonna need
God's
we're gonna
face
need
in toast. That seems to be a popular miracle honor poem.
I feel like we're gonna. How do you tip a giant hourglass? You're gonna need like
must-
a big distraction, or like
I will
some.
I will make
We're
a
gonna need-
speech and
We're
distract
gonna need
everyone.
more grass rope.
Yeah, I know, like a rope and levy.
Yes,
Like
this will be marvelous. Trust me. We will do. I will go on a rant about the time I scored 4 touchdowns for a comeback to win against Polk High. Thank you, Ray. So I will speak of the glory days, and while I will give an impassioned speech, a sermon like I have not given in years, and while I am doing that, you tip the hourglass. Just give it the push. Just enough to get it over.
Question.
What?
How old are you?
50 something. What?
So we all need a role in each of these plants, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So and at the moment we have make sure the candles light and flip the hourglass as our.
Can
two
I add
plants.
one more? I think
Yeah.
before those two should be the implementation of those things, right? We have to put in the mechanisms that are going to allow us to do these illusions. Basically, we have to figure out how we're going to trick people. We've got to get people out of that area so you can sneak in and do what you want. And I think that's a good scheme too.
Okay. So
I feel like all I'm thinking of are things that can go wrong. I don't know if this happens with an hourglass, but like, can it like clog? Can the sand like fall a certain way that it just doesn't fall anymore?
It could like clump.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it just like
if
shifts
like a
and then
little
it,
bit
like-
of moisture got in there.
Time is
What?
broken.
I know what happens
just
if that
stuck.
happens.
We're
The
stuck.
sand just doesn't fall.
It's Groundhog Day. Hey.
All right. So I put 1, 2, and then 0 in our little chat here.
Yeah.
But
so step 0 would then be, setting all this stuff up.
yeah, clear the ritual area is step 0.
Yeah.
Make sure the candle's light is 2 and flip the hourglasses. Or actually, I guess those are both technically. Those are actually part of the same plan,
Well,
right?
oh, is it? Yeah.
Because I'll have to light the candles as soon as the hourglass is flipped.
Yeah, but that's fine because, there's plenty of room for all of us. Like, so I'll give a speech to distract everyone. So that'll be my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You light the candles.
Yep.
Sarah and Jess can be the ones flipping the hourglass.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cicely seems like buff.
Yeah, Cicely seems buff.
She's pretty
She's the
strong.
muscle. She's the muscle. I mean, at least compared to my little hippie chick and a 50-something-year-old drunk guy.
Right.
She's pretty strong, actually. I imagine her pretty strong. All right. Flip
You
the hourglass.
described her as like rad as shit, so I'm like, she's also buff.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, she's got to be. She's
She's got like the Michelle Obama muscles. Yeah.
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 Okay, so all right. Do we need one more plan, or is that all of them?
So because those two are kind of going hand in hand, Jess had mentioned Cicely's doing a sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, do it.
So Cicely, what's the sacrifice for this year? Because if that doesn't
I mean, should it be like an animal or should it be like a whole bunch of corn?
Corn.
A whole bunch of corn.
Or corn shaped like an animal.
Like a cornstalk effigy that we're gonna burn.
Yeah, like a cornstalk effigy, exactly.
Yes, a cornstalk effigy that we're gonna burn that represents last year.
Make popcorn.
Yes.
Which ironically happened the first time we played this.
Wait, really? Popcorn?
It didn't.
No way.
Popcorn was involved the last time we played.
Wow.
We convinced people.
Here.
We
Wow.
convinced. So the last time we played this last Wednesday at a one shot off stream with our home group and the Pathfinder group. I'm with Sarah, and it was a harvest. Actually, it was the ancestors. Just the ancestors was our god. And we wound up, the plants were supposed to just like grow at this harvest festival. So we put corn stalks like in the ground and created like a lift to just like shoot them up. And then we also created popcorn because we convinced them that the god of popcorn, like the ancestors, we created an elaborate con that the ancestors may have abandoned us, but that was okay because the god of popcorn was here. And we just had this kettle that like magically filled with popcorn, but it was really just us popping it. And that's what ended.
Amazing.
So
Okay.
here we are
I
again
like
with
it.
popcorn. So,
This is what's going to happen, right? The hourglass is going to flip. The candles are going to light. It's going to lead to this massive, like, candlelit fire thing that lights the effigy, and then popcorn is going to create. And then we all eat a little bit of popcorn.
the sacred
is-
popcorn.
That is our ritual.
So then maybe, because if Cicely's in charge of the
Flipping.
the
Flipping hourglass.
sacrifice, so
The
yeah,
popcorn.
right.
It's our poet says it's the popcorn.
of course.
Oh no.
It's the popcorn.
That's
It is
so good.
officially the popcorn.
So
The
then,
popcorn.
because if normally Cicely does the sacrifice, if Cicely's doing the hourglass, does that mean Bree has to do the sacrifice?
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. It's all
Okay.
coming together. This is great.
So-
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong here.
Except our god is dead. No big deal.
High
Oh.
Archbishop Orville Redenbacher.
Yes.
Yeah, new NPC for sure.
That'll be the king. That should be the king because the king is
The
going to be in
king.
King
Yes.
Redenbacher will be in
Yes.
Or
King
Bill
Redenbacher.
That's great. That's great.
Listen,
That's so
chat,
funny.
we love you and we're always here for your suggestions.
right.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, so in that case, so we have clear the ritual area is going to be, we all have to do something basically during that plan.
Yes.
What is everyone doing? I guess that will be me setting up.
I will
All of the-
distract everyone. I will get them
Okay.
led out of the way. That's way maybe Bree, you can help get the rope. You go see my friend Vasily. He makes the rope for the wine, and he'll help you. Do not
The
drink
basket.
his wine, though. Just get the basket. Trust me.
Okay.
Don't drink his wine. Okay? I drank his wine once. Was blind for 3 days. Okay? Do not want to try it.
Okay.
He will try to give it to you. Don't listen.
I just needed a basket. I've been sitting here making rope grass this entire time, and you look down and she's got this little pile in front of her that she
Holy
just
shit.
has kept going. You told me to start making it, so I did.
That's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, I will distract everyone. You make it the candles.
Make it the candles.
Make it the candle.
This man has had 5 accents in the span of an
He's
hour.
drunk. He doesn't know who he is.
Make it the candles.
Make it the candles. what are you
Sorry, I
gonna
just found
do,
that very
Cecily?
funny. I don't know why I found that so funny.
Oh no, I realize this is all supposed to go wrong.
Yes.
I
yes,
know!
This is all gonna go wrong. Very wrong.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. Just embrace the chaos.
I'm
Yeah.
so stressed out.
Welcome to
Okay.
Team Chaos, Jess.
Ah.
I've got
don't
a
belong here.
giant fake knife here just in case.
What the hell?
What?
That's amazing.
You guys
That's
haven't
so
seen this?
fun.
This is I've had this on my desk for months. It
No, I've
shines
never
in the
seen it.
light.
It
That's
does.
awesome.
It's made of foam. It's squishy. I promise. Twitch, this is a squishy fake knife. I just realized terms of service. I should put this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
I think we're good. We're marked as adult. So
All right. So all right. So so we all have a thing to do during the clearing the ritual. Or actually, what is Cicely doing during clearing the ritual?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I mean, you could just be like intimidating people away as well. You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
she's
Maybe I'll-
tipping. Isn't she tipping she's tipping the hourglass, right?
No.
not,
So this is
not
while
during the
we're
clearing the ritual area.
yeah.
Oh, clearing the ritual area. Okay.
Maybe I'll put in some like easy levers underneath the hourglass to help me like tip it a little
Oh,
easier.
yeah. I mean, that's true. You could just be setting up something to help you with the hourglass.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
whole little grippies to kind of like hold it better.
So Cicely, what do you normally do with the sacrifice?
Oh, I normally, I guess maybe she puts it together like she like forms the effigy, right, and shapes it into an animal, maybe.
The Pope.
Oh, you mean like at the actual burning? Oh, she just lights it on fire, so
Just light it.
Okay.
I just light it, yes, and
Okay.
Say a little prayer.
I
to the
make
hourglass.
sure that I pop every single kernel perfectly
Mm.
Don't burn
Without-
any.
without burning any. Exactly.
Wow.
Okay.
That sets up some failure right there.
You can't go 10 seconds more. You got to stop. once
Mhm,
you're
I
here.
know.
Wait, how do you make it stop?
What do you mean? You just make it stop.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's during phase 1. We all have a job, right?
Phase 0.
Phase zero.
Yeah.
Phase 0, we all have a job. Then phase 2 basically is the flipping of the hourglass, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the big ritual. And so
Yes. When
Constantine's going to give an impassioned sermon.
Okay, so that's when Constantine's speech is going on.
I
He's
will
gonna
distract
steal-
everyone.
Steal the stage.
I'm going to steal the
That's-
stage from Agamemnon and just like speech.
To give Cicely time to get
To give
everything
Cicely
ready.
Cicely's gotta
speech and mostly
tip.
to distract everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Cicely's got to tip the hourglass at that point.
Yep.
That's when I'm lighting the actual.
So once the hourglass
candle.
flips,
Yep.
then you
then
do
you
it.
light the candles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
that's still
once-
part of that plan, right? So
And once the candles are lit, popcorn sacrifice.
yeah. So we
Yeah.
have our like perfect.
The popcorn.
the
Popcorn.
Yes.
Should there be a little popcorn mobile then too that he gets wheeled in? Like the
What?
Pope mobile? Like the Pope
Yeah,
mobile?
it's a cart. It's just a cart that we wheel in the
It's
popcorn.
the Pope mobile, the popcorn mobile.
Maybe that's part of what Bree has to do as the hourglass is being flipped. She has to push the popcorn in on the cart.
Popcorn mobile.
Into the sacred popping candle. This is so stupid. Okay.
I walked into this game imagining this god so intense, and it's so different now.
See, Jess, this is great. This is how we need you to run a one shot in the future. It's like just come into it, no prep whatsoever, and then just like embrace it.
I will say though, what you're supposed to create it as a group, but it would be funny. Part of me thinks it would be hysterical. Of like we talked about Forgotten Realms earlier. Like imagine like a Church of Bane, right? And like Bane, like the priests of Bane are like, oh fuck, Bane's not. What are you gonna do? Bane's not here. What the fuck?
I don't.
Her and I are both like, same.
He was the old god of death.
Bane is the god of tyranny. Yeah, and he's like the big bad evil guy. Cyric replaced Bane during the time of troubles, and then he came back, and like there's a revolving door there. It's very complicated. So anyway, but it would be funny, like imagine like the big bad evil god wasn't there. Yeah.
Christian, right. That's hysterical because again, just if you haven't yet, go listen to our new Modified Roles podcast episode that dropped earlier today about how to prep and run one shots. Because one of our ideas is if you don't want to do a whole lot of stuff, run a one shot within your ongoing campaign. So this is actually hysterical. You could take this game in your Forgotten Realms 5e D&D game and just run a hilarious little one shot about a ritual that just goes horribly wrong. And you could even let's take it one step further with advice that we give in that episode. Run it with NPCs that the group has done it with, so you just get to play these completely inept NPCs again, as they fail.
Or even like major characters, like again in the Forgotten Realms, who's the High Priest of Bane, Zul Shembrel, right? It's one of my actual favorite Forgotten Realms characters. He's like one of the biggest, baddest motherfuckers in the Forgotten Realms, and imagine like playing him trying to lie to his congregation.
No. The best part is that guy's an NPC. Like you play the people directly under him, disappointing him. You know what I mean?
Like he's just like with his mustache. Yeah.
Everything's fine, dude.
Yeah. That's
the consequences.
All right. How perfectly tonight's session ties in with our podcast from earlier. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
Look at us. Our scheduling fluke wasn't a fluke at all.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I would never go that far. So anyway, all right. What's the deal with Christian? Let us know. How are we doing on phase 2?
So we're gonna go. I mean, basically that's what we're doing. Now we're gonna go and get into trouble, start executing this stuff. So what will happen is once every time we've done it all, once everybody's had a turn, basically, we move on to the third act. And I think we should. Okay. I think the third act, for the way we've set things up, personally, I think the third act is actually the ritual.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I think what we should do is we should set up, do stage 0 and stage 1, right? The setup, right? Get things kind of prepared, and then the ritual is the third act where we know everything's just going to go disastrously wrong.
So the getting into trouble part is basically our setup. Is our clearing the ritual area.
Is our stage 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start there. Keep track of how we do, because any failures will kind of carry over, right?
So do we now roll a die and have to leave it up?
Who's going to go first? Why don't I go first?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Christian,
I'll roll first. A die. I rolled a 5, so that's glorious, because I'm going to have to roll higher than a 5 to distract these people.
Okay.
And I'll roll higher than a 5. Whatever I roll after that will be the next number for whoever goes next, because Constantine's job is to get people out of the ritual area and distract them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And I have to beat a 5, which is just, So, okay. You get those things. I do not worry. I know what I'm doing. I will get these people out of there. You could count on Constantine.
There's only one of you.
This is correct.
Yeah. You see, I'm just weaving the grass rope that you've been doing like around all of my candles. So that way when it's lit, it goes up and around and it like lights them. But like, you see that like I'm slowly just like fitting more and more of them into my arm because I'm going to lay them out. Just, like a assembly line, factory line of just, it's like the I Love Lucy skit where
the chocolates, yes.
Nice.
The best episodes.
Okay. So while you're doing that, Constantine returns to the ritual area. Who can be there? I need some NPCs here. So,
I mean, for sure, Agamemnon, right?
Has
overseeing everything. Perfect. Okay, Agamemnon's overseeing everything. That's perfect.
Okay, who's another NPC though that could make this interesting?
Sort of like maybe like a
I was say
someone like an event plan, the event planner for the church. You know what I mean? Like someone who's like in charge.
Maybe he's meeting with like the mayor.
Yes, or the king's, the king's representatives.
Yeah, like not a
King
clergy member.
Redenbacher's
Like a
representative.
page.
I was also just imagining like Larry the mop guy, who's just like
He'll be there. Oh yeah,
guy
There'll
who
be-
like
yeah.
mops the
Um,
temple.
It's just listen. It's a simple older gentleman, right? Who everybody in town trusts, and so that way he's like the liaison to the king here in the town,
Mm.
and everyone just calls him Pop Jiffy
Pop Jiffy.
because Jiffy Pop, right? Isn't that isn't that
Yes, it
popcorn?
is. Yes, it is.
So they call him Papa Jiffy,
Papa Jiffy.
Papa Jiff. I'm just making popcorn puns now, guys. That's what's going down.
It's great. It's great. We need to like bring in every popcorn brand. That's it though, right? And what's the other one?
Movie Time as one I can think of, right? Yeah.
So we've got Agamemnon talking with Pop Jiffy. I was also imagining there's like one of the nuns is like getting ready with the choir,
Oh boy.
because of course there's a choir.
Sister.
Oh my God. Sister
Sister
Whoopi Goldberg.
Cornelius.
Sister Cornelius. Yes. See,
Well,
I was
it's become
thinking,
my job
I was
to put
thinking
it in
Yukon
there.
Cornelius could have been one of Constantine's old adventuring buddies, like the fighter in the
Oh.
party. But it could be a Sister Cornelius who was in the party.
I like
with her. That's
Sister
fine, too.
Cornelius much
Right.
better.
Let's
yeah.
go with Sister Cornelius. She's
love
like,
it.
I know how you sing. This is how you sing.
And in my
What
head
was
canon,
she?
it's just Whoopi Goldberg, and it's the cast of Sister Act. That's it.
That's what I was
gonna say.
imagining
Sister
too.
Act, actually. Yeah, but
Her name is Sister Act.
her name is just Sister Act.
Sister Cornelius.
It's like how
Such a good
nuns
movie.
take on a new name when they become nuns.
Yeah.
Her name as a nun is Sister Act, but her real name was Cornelius.
Yukana Cornelius.
Yukana Cornelius.
Kana!
I have to use that name. Constantine knew her. All right, so he's gonna run. He goes in like, kind of like, stumbles into the area, and he goes right over to her, and Yukana, it is so good to see you again. You
Oh, my boy, how is it going?
oh, it's marvelous, marvelous. You're an exceptional woman. You know that, right?
Oh, enough with the flattery. What are you on about now,
I
Constantine? I know you.
Oh, you know me so well. I was hoping to pray a little bit on my own in the ritual area to the hourglass, if I could have maybe some time to myself with the
Oh,
hourglass.
of course. No, go right on over.
Yeah, no, I mean like alone with the hourglass, like alone.
I need
With
some
none of you
alone
here.
time with our God, please.
Yeah, I would like to have some.
Oh, I can't even finish. Don't finish that.
I would like to. I'm not going there. I would like to have some time alone to commune with the hourglass.
All right. I will move for now.
Thank you. I will get you some of that wine you like from Vasily.
Oh, the one that made you go blind.
Yes, it is the shit.
My boy. All right.
You and me will just later.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
All right, my girls, this way. And she kind of
And he's just
moves
like,
off
bless
the
you, sister,
stage.
bless you, sister, bless you, sister, as they all walk
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's like 12 nuns.
Yeah, and he's just like, same, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless her, bless him, bless you, bless you. Go fuck yourself. Okay. So, I said, oh,
Yourself, okay.
I am alone. And then he hears coming down the hallway, Jiffy Pop and Agamemnon talking.
Jeff.
So you guys pick that up. You can, and I'll jump in.
So me and Jess.
I
Yeah,
guess
you should
so.
be
You're
Jiffy Pop,
Jiffy.
Rainey. That's you're
Pop Jiffy. Yeah.
You're Pop
Oh,
Jiffy.
Jimmy.
Now listen, attendance last year was down considerably, and we really need to consider, really making this show pop. If you know what I mean. Little pun intended there, given my name and my title in the town and all. But
Very funny.
yes, well, yeah, all I'm saying is, you people here that live around the temple and worship, you have the faith. Listen, it's in you. It's part of your everyday life. The people out there, the king's people, listen, they're heathens. They're idiots. They just want to come for for a good old time here. Praise the hourglass and all that. So if you could do a little something to step it up.
Do you think we should try like a flavor added?
Butter. Caramel.
I never thought about that. I heard of this newfangled stuff down called sriracha that's supposedly quite good on the popcorn. The popcorn.
I'll have to see. It's a bit short notice. We only have so much this year.
Agamemnon. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Elder.
Constantine. Yeah.
Pop Jiffy.
Yes.
It is so good to see you as always. I was just preparing the ritual space.
Yeah, I see that. It's rare to see you actually doing your job, not down at the local tavern there.
Well, we all worship the hourglass in our own way.
Pop Jiffy was just saying that we should add a little bit more of a flair this year. Do you have any ideas for that?
I think that is a brilliant idea. Yes, what? Perhaps I could give a speech of the old days.
Perhaps we should keep things the way
fire and brimstone.
Faith,
No. Hold on a second, Agamemnon.
Faith is a tricky thing.
Pop leads in to Agamemnon and goes, "That sounds like the kind of train wreck I am looking for." People.
I'm gonna roll to see. I'm just gonna roll to see how I do on this. I rolled a 2, so
okay.
There you go. That's a fail somehow. But actually being set up to be embarrassed, I think would be good enough, right?
I was just gonna say, I'd argue that failure means you do have to give a speech, and it's gonna be
horrible.
Yeah, but
yes, I see what you're saying, and I trust that your donation this year will be quite beneficial to our temple.
Oh, of course, the king's pockets. Oh, things come, things go. That is the way of your goddess, the hourglass. So, of course, the king is
the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
He just say that in the corner by himself.
It's like saying amen, right? It's like you're doing like
Constantine.
These are the days of our lives. That's amen.
Yes.
These are the days of our lives.
Days of our lives. Yes. Constantine.
Yes.
The sands have shown me the way. You know what? I have changed my mind. I think you giving a speech would be an excellent idea. This is
marvelous.
Your year.
I'm
trust
so
you
glad
have something prepared.
Of course, of course I do. What do you think? This is me.
And you are of clear mind, and
I am of nothing but the clearest mind.
Excellent. All right. Well,
now, if you don't mind, I would actually like to practice it a little bit and get in the right headspace for it. So if you and Pop Jiffy don't mind leaving me alone in the ritual space to
of course, yes, yeah. Sure, yes, sure.
I think part of the failure, if it's okay with you, Christian, is Pop Jiffy just going like, if you don't mind, write it down. I might have a few notes for you.
Sure, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and chat can do this as they might. Chat, when he's giving his speech later, feel free to just comment on notes that Pop Jiffy left for his speech, please.
Absolutely do that, please.
Nice.
These are going to be notes.
We bestow upon you the character of Pop Jiffy. Do with that what you will.
Okay, so
yeah, and my character's gonna make himself scarce from Constantine.
So they leave, and Constantine's just like, yes, success. He doesn't even think he screwed up.
All right.
Right. It's all on you guys.
All right. So then
good.
I think so that was his role, right? Does that mean
I had to clear everyone out. Yeah.
So that means I go next to flip the hourglass?
No, that's actually part of the ritual.
This is still part of the clearing.
This is still sort of the prep. So the prep is to light get everything set up to do all that. So I think you might have to set up like the pulley, add your pulley or whatever system, and set up the candle, elaborate candle thing that we're going to light all the candles.
I'm just gonna shatter this hourglass. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but hopefully live in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of this was, I guess, my Zaya and Bree's role in this is going to be setting up all the candles. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And while
laying out like the rope and stuff like that.
yeah, while Sicily is rigging the hourglass itself.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll so once he clears him out, Constantine gets like kind of maybe they were like hiding close by. He like gets very good. I was successful as always. I got them out. So just you set up what you need to do. I apparently have to write a speech now. I was just going to compose it from the heart, but I will write the speech. So
That's exactly the punishment. That's the failure. Is that I can't wait to see Constantine's handwriting and.
I will. I'm gonna get some parchment and some ink and a quill and
and sand on
yes,
top of it.
I need some sand and maybe a little whiskey to help with the creative process. So
That's not clear though.
Keep it clear.
you're right. I will get corn alcohol again. Okay.
Which is apparently clear.
Yeah.
I think it is. I don't know. I looked it up briefly.
I think it
I
is.
wanted to make sure it wouldn't
imagine-
kill you, so I Googled it before we went on this thing. Yeah.
It's like, would it be like potato vodka? It's like corn.
Yeah.
Vodka. Okay.
It looks like moonshine. That's what it looks like online.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it is clear.
Oh.
All right, so it says we go clockwise. We're going clockwise in terms of our Twitch.
I mean, I guess we
No.
could do that. So that would be you then. You do the next roll,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
All right, so we see just like before where she was scrambling to Sicily's burning hut with all of the candles in her arms and dropping it and all this stuff. And she's making her way to the ritual area, and she's just like slowly she like bends over and she puts one down, and then she slowly like unravels a bunch of the grass rope to the next one, and like she's just making this big old daisy chain of candles that she's going to light from the center. So she does it. Now, am I just trying to roll higher than your 2, Christian, or your 5?
You need to roll higher than my 2.
Okay, all right.
And then whatever you roll is what Sarah has to beat on hers.
Okay, so so we see Zaya and presumably being followed by Bree, but Bree, you have another job as well, right? Or am I just?
Bree has to roll out the poke corn and get that ready.
All right, so so it's just
She
Zaya
gave
on
you
her
all
own.
the rope.
Yeah, and we see her like laying it out, and being very careful, like not to put it anywhere that people are going to be like stepping a lot. You know what I mean? Like she's trying to like put it around the edges of like pathways and walkways and stuff like that. And she's trying to make it, Zaya. She's got a little bit of a creative mind to her, so she's trying to make it so that way, like when it's lit, like it's gonna look like an hourglass. You know what I mean? Like so, she's doing like these 2 kind of ovals on either side of like where the actual
Nice.
hourglass is going to be flipped, and so she's doing it, and but then she needs to get the last one like right underneath, right in the middle, because I'm going to be standing when it gets flipped over, so I can light the last fuse or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna roll, and I have a few ideas for what could possibly go wrong if I roll a 1 or a 2. But I guess is that good? As I've laid out my hourglass candles.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, here goes. Ready? All right, I succeed with a
Okay.
4.
Ooh.
So it's doable. So Zaya does manage to, and like we see then in the last second, she pulls it up and she goes up onto like the little raised section where like the hourglass is mounted, right? And she almost doesn't reach with the last candle. She just yanks it a little bit, so one of them just kind of like a little out of the way. She puts it right down underneath under the middle, and she stands there as all of them. She looks, and like as she pulls, like you see like the ripple of the grass rope as it goes down, and she's like, "They're gonna fall." They don't. She stands there. She just sits crisscross applesauce, lets out a big old sigh.
Breath of relief.
Yeah, just a nice sigh of relief, as I guess that's a good camera pan cut to the popcorn mobile.
Towards the side where it's like one of those little wagons you'd hook up to like the back of a little horse, except Bree's just holding it with her hands. And it's got I'm gonna say that the animal this year was a turtle.
Ooh.
And so it's a popcorn, it's a turtle made of corn.
Oh, it makes sense because like his shell expands like when you cook it on the
Like
on the stove. You know what I mean? When you get those things.
Yeah.
And so she's walking along with it. And basically it's very simple. Is her goal is to bring it from where it is to the center of the room and take it off of the cart and put it on the table. But I have to roll a 5 or a 6.
A job, of course, for the Stronk the strong
Right.
Sicily.
But instead it's Bree.
Yeah, that's true.
I rolled a 5.
Oh,
Nice, nice, nice.
Oh god.
nice.
But see, what I like about
Everyone's
this game,
succeeding.
what I like about this game is that, but this is great because we're not supposed to succeed. Things are supposed to go wrong. But what we're doing is we're setting up bigger dominoes
Yep.
to fall during the ritual.
So Bree's just kind of humming a little like song to herself, and if you hear her, it's like made up lyrics about turtles to try and like calm herself down. And so she just kind of wheels it out and pops it in the spot, and then just kind of like looks at it for a bit and try to figure out how to do it, and then like somehow carefully finagles it so it like slides onto the platform, and then she just like stares at it for a minute. And then as soon as she sees that it is actually sturdy, she just grabs the cart and runs it back to its hiding spot because she's so scared something's going to happen.
All right.
Oh,
Now,
man.
before Jess goes with Sicily, I do want to note, and it makes sense that we didn't have to do this, I guess, because Constantine went first, but the rules do say when a character messes up their part of the plan, someone else has to cover for them. When you cover for them, roll your die and compare it to that player's die to determine success or failure. So if Jess fails now, one of us is going to have to try and bail her out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just
Okay.
complicates things some more. So
I have very little ideas for what will happen if this goes wrong or when this goes wrong. But all right, it's Cicely's turn. She just kind of stalks out with her long train, and she kind of weaves in between the candles and stuff like that. And she notes the turtle, and she takes a look at the pretty hefty hourglass. She starts to kind of lift it and tip it a little to kind of slide some wedges in and slide some easy holds onto them. And I will roll. Nope, it's not rolling. Okay, that's all right. That's a good sign. It's not rolling.
Our God has the dice.
Are you rolling
god
on a
has-
digital roller?
Okay. I refreshed the page. It's still loading.
Jess, you don't have a
You don't have
D6?
to die.
You don't have a D6?
I don't. All my dice are in my car right now. Okay, let me go to a window browser.
I think you
This
can
is
just Google.
building
You can tell
tension.
Google. You can just tell Google to roll a D6.
Just building tension here, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I got a 5, which
Oh.
is the
It's a
same
tie.
as Sarah's. I don't know what that means.
Unfortunately,
Is that a fail?
Is that
Yeah.
a fail?
You got to exceed.
you have to exceed the
Oh god, so you needed a 6.
The
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is like shattering the hourglass. Like,
yeah,
that's all
but it's
I
not
can
going to
think
do it
of.
right now. I think it's funnier
Yeah.
if it breaks during the ritual.
All right. So
I
I've
think it's way better
added
if it
some
just
leverage
cracks.
right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
It
right.
just-
So I think
cracks.
maybe you
It's-
set it up and you think you did a great job, but in reality, it's you over leveraged it. So when you do go to turn it, this thing's just gonna like shatter.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
As she walks away, we see that little
The
Spider.
spider.
the lightning
Yep.
bolt of a
Little
Yeah.
spider cracks.
flint
Yeah.
spider cracks. Yep.
Oh, and if we want to be really cinematic, what happens is now that we've all done our things and we're back together, people start coming back in and everyone's getting ready for it, and it pans to the crowd, and then it does a really close cut in the hourglass, and then it goes back, and more people are coming in. We go back,
Yeah.
we see the king entering.
Nice.
King Orville Redenbacher.
King Redenbacher.
And hold on,
boy.
hold on.
Oh boy.
And just like turn it like a Christmas tree, right? So that the cracks are in the back. And
yeah.
No
Well,
one
but then
else
you're
can
gonna
see
flip
it.
it, so it's gonna be right in the front.
no, I mean you
In
Lift
can
and turn. Lift
yeah,
and turn.
yeah.
King Redenbacher of the Kingdom of Maze.
Nice. Oh, maze. Gotcha. Yeah.
Maze. Very nice.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So Act 2 says here, wrapping it up. The player whose turn is up responsible for deciding when it's time to move on to the next plan.
So that would be, I guess, it's gone full circle. That was the first
I
plan.
think we've gotten there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is execution now, right? So it's
We're
light the
moving on to
candles,
ritual.
flip the hourglass, popcorn sacrifice. But it's perfect, really, because Constantine's speech was supposed to be the distraction for all of this.
Yeah, and now it's the highlight. That's going to be kicking this whole thing off, Constantine.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Good
you're
thing I
Actually, you
wrote
know
a
what's
whole bunch
funny?
of things.
You know what's funny is I didn't think about this. Oh, I was going to say we almost went we almost went clockwise fully again, but we're going to have to switch Jess and Sarah's thing. But still.
Yeah. That's all right. All right. So,
That's awesome.
do we have any chat? No, I'm looking. We don't have any. I have that the Hourglass needs your money for a private airship. That's not necessarily
That's me,
something.
yeah.
Any speech, any notes for this speech? Because we'll say that I spent all afternoon on this speech, managed to get it to Pop Jiffy just in time to get some corrections back. So if you think of any when I start, please do, because I'm going to be making this up as I go. Wow.
Yeah, please do type in and let Christian know what he should say instead.
Just remember to sing a round of Amazing Grace.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing
Ah,
Grace. Very nice.
Ah.
I looked for a royalty-free version of Amazing Grace on the organ.
You
to
did,
start us
actually.
off,
That's
and
so weird.
I could not find it. Yeah. Not one I didn't have to pay for. So, are we waiting for Sarah or no? I don't think she's coming back. She must have.
I think
stepped
we
away
should
from-
because
Yeah, I'll wait.
Twitch
We'll
is
wait
on
for
like a 30-second delay, so that way it just gives people more time to.
No worries.
Gotcha.
Drop some suggestions
a little
from our
behind.
speech. While you
Christian,
do-
you Christian, I demand that you open with "Lend me your ears."
Yeah, yes, and I'll sing you a song.
Oh no, that was a corn pun.
Right,
Ears
I
of
know,
corn.
but
Yeah.
Let's see. I just Googled corn puns and I hate myself for it. Where's Troy when we need him?
I know.
right.
I just imagine, Christian, that you like wrote out this speech on this like what are they called? The husk, like the corn wrap
Yes,
part,
they are.
stalk part, right? It's just
Yeah.
like holding it out.
Yep.
I imagine
goodness.
what's his name? King Redenbacher just holding like a stalk as his staff.
And a crown with just like
two corns.
Just two corns.
as a royal scepter. That's so.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
the stalks in. Yeah, it is public domain Aisling, but I guess it's the performance that you pay for when you get it for royalty free. All right, so let's start.
Oh my goodness! All right.
God help me.
So what are we doing now? Because Jess rolled a 5. So are we still having to roll a 6? To
I
succeed?
think I have to roll a 6. I mean, I'm going to fail anyway, but I think I have to roll. Well, let's make this interesting. I think the failure was I had to write this speech. Like I failed ahead basically. So let's see. Let's give me a chance to succeed and say if I roll a 6. Like, what do you think? Just for the hell of it.
Wait, so
Yeah,
so
that's fine because I'm
Yeah.
reading the actual Act 3 here.
Mhm.
And it says here, all of your problems catch up with you. Disaster after disaster slowly but surely causes trouble. And it says, all players roll their dice, and the player who rolls the lowest has to narrate how the trouble they've caused catches up with them and why this means they're out of the game. So I think, like you have to have a chance to do this. And then after your speech, then we can all roll.
Yeah, then we'll
to
all
see-
roll and say, see what happens. Okay. All right, so the ritual, the people begin to fill in for the ritual, and Sister Yukana and her glorious women's choir is singing the hymns of corn, and
The hymns of the Hourglass.
which is Amazing Grace and the hymns of the Hourglass. Those are the two classics. King Redenbacher arrives fashionably late on his throne with his stalk of corn and his corn crown. Pop's Jiffy is just like next to him like a little weasel, and of course
But like a
Elder
little weasel,
Agamemnon.
Pop is a good guy.
Yeah.
Is he though?
Everybody thinks Pop's a good guy.
Yeah,
Pop's collecting the tithe at the most inappropriate time. He's just
And the congregation is all ears, as Otter Poet says, as Agamemnon starts everything off. And you don't have to say this, Jess, but we'll cut the chase. But he starts everyone off with like a consecration, and says that instead of Agamemnon giving the traditional sermon, he's elected to allow one of the respected and esteemed members of the church, who you'll all have remembered from his glorious adventuring days,
how could we
Constantine
ever forget him?
Velementov, who remarkably has found the cleanest vestments that he owns, and they still sort of tight, but not too bad.
I thought you were gonna say they were tighter.
Yes, you know what? They're tighter because they're from when he was even younger. But at least they're clean. But he's got like he's like it's like a belly
The
shirt
one
on
with
him
the
kind
long
of, but it's
time,
not
yeah.
really a good look. So like a hairy belly is like sticking out, and just kind of like fat guy in a little coat sort of thing going on.
Oh.
And he goes, he stepped. I live in a van down by the river, and he steps up to the podium, and he says, brothers and sisters of the Hourglass, lend me your ears, and I will tell you a tale. I will try not to sing out of tune, Sister Yukana.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. 7 years ago,
7 years ago. Excuse me.
7 years ago, my father brought forth upon this land myself and a new faith. The faith in the Hourglass, which is such a marvelous God because it is the concept that although things change is okay. It was conceived that change is okay, and it is dedicated to the proposition that life and death, all things are equal. And 50-something? Yeah, that's about right. That's his age.
No.
No.
Read what I said.
87 years.
Yeah.
Four score and 7 years ago, bud. 87.
Fuck off.
All right,
Anyway, you wrecking my jive here. The Hourglass gives us each signs. It touches all of our hearts in different ways. I know for me, I have found much inspiration in the joys of, drinking. But others of us find it in different ways. For instance, we have wonderful people who are engaged in the making of these wonderful candles that the Hourglass will light with his fire later on when we tip the Hourglass. And so we all stand here in a glorious moment. Right? A moment that is balanced on the knife edge between last year and this year. And we all wonder, what does next year hold for us? But I am here to tell you that it does not matter because it will be okay.
Oh, I think that's where you have to roll.
I'm
Hold
going to
on.
just roll there. I rolled a 5, so that's a failure.
You
But
failed.
it's a close failure, but it's a
But
failure.
it means we still have to roll 6s.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I wanted to
It does
roll
not matter.
those.
But so people are just. First of all, he's all
Wait,
fucking.
but
Go
Are
on.
we supposed to be rolling to cover for him somehow?
No, not in the
like-
final act.
Oh, okay. Just disaster. I gotcha. Continue.
This is just
So, hold on. So that's a failure, though. So
he
Yeah.
failed. Yeah.
I think what happens is when you say it doesn't matter, like you don't get to say because it's all gonna be okay. Everyone's like,
Everyone's just like.
absolute chaos.
I just lose it. I lose everybody right there, and that's a perfect moment actually for the Hourglass
all
to
roll.
tip. Yeah, everybody just roll.
No, we all have to roll because whoever
Yep.
gets the lowest now, because
Yep.
this is how the third act works. That's how things are gonna get the worst for whoever of us goes wrong. So everybody roll a d6, and whoever gets the lowest has to talk about how it gets the worst for them when all of this heck breaks loose.
Oh no.
It's gonna be me.
Roll 1? Oh, 2. Well,
I got a
Christian.
2.
I got a
Christian?
5. So, I got to
So
roll
it's
again.
me.
Right. I got
You
a
gotta
2
roll
too.
again.
Roll off for a tie.
Roll off. Yeah.
5
I got a 5 too. All right.
again.
Let's go.
4
It's like
4,
we're
you
playing
got-
war.
Damn
We're
it.
playing war.
6.
5.
There we go.
Ooh,
All right.
wow, bye.
It's Zaya.
Oh, all right. So I think Zaya, yeah. You go, it doesn't matter. And everyone's like, and then you're just like, oh no. And like everybody's just like, it doesn't matter. And like
The king is like, "What do you mean by this?" And he's just looking at
Just that,
Agamemnon.
the spider cracks.
yeah, they start the people start trampling all of the rope grass, and now my fire is not going to spread to anything. So when this thing finally does flip, it doesn't matter because the fire's not going to go. So in a panic, you just see her just start just shoot off sparks. She's trying to light it. She's like, come on. And what do we think? Do we think that a better failure would be that just none of this ever lights, or do we think it'd be funnier if I start a fire underneath this?
It would be funnier if just the grass lit and the candles didn't.
Yes.
The candles don't, but the grass is now weaving its way through villagers.
Yeah,
Because they trip, so it starts flying, and like you see people just like there are people on fire.
Oh
So what happens to Zaya? Because this is also her exit, technically.
Yeah, technically, this is where I'm out of the game. Get creative with your reasons, trying to make a call back to an earlier blunder, blah, blah, blah. Narrate the exit scene, leave time for the other players. Okay, so people start catching on fire. The candles just start getting trampled. Oh boy, I was going to say, I kind of like the idea of, can I hold? I'm out right now. I just kind of like take cover and just kind of like fall up because all of this chaos that's happening. But I think that there's a funnier thing that will happen depending on someone else's failure.
Sure.
How about
at the moment I'm just
how about you tip over Bree's like little cart thing and you're just hiding under there?
Oh, under the turtle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the cart,
technically
it doesn't have the popcorn in it. It's off to the side, so you can hide under.
Technically, at the moment, I'm directly underneath the hourglass.
Oh,
I see.
I see. Okay.
So
okay.
I panic and I just
Yep. Safe mode.
So,
nice.
Yep.
What happens
So
now?
Zaya's
We all
out.
roll again now?
No,
roll
that's
again?
the
What
order.
happens
So
now?
who had what? So it goes from
It was Christian.
Oh, that's the order?
You're next.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Wait, does it
you're
go to
next.
no, it
No, it
goes,
says roll the dice again.
oh, okay.
Roll the dice.
After
again?
the player narrates their exit,
I got a
leave
5.
Time for the other players to leave time for the other players to react. So each of you gets to react to the chaos of
Oh.
burning people in a stampede, if you want.
Okay, I rolled a 5 if I needed to roll, and Velamentov thought he was given like a great speech, and then all this chaos just broke loose, and he's just like, where did I leave? Where did I lose them? I do not understand. This is extraordinary. I was giving a wonderful sermon.
Walking up next to you is just now that was not in the notes that I left on your scroll, sir.
You do not know how to speak from the heart like I do.
He goes like, forget the heart. I talk from the wallet, and he pushes you out of the way, and he's just like, people, be calm. Everything is gonna be fine. Then he goes, you know what? Actually, fuck it. This is perfect. This is exactly what we. He's just like, forget it.
So Velamentov just gets pushed off the stage like entirely and just falls. I want to say like off the stage onto the ground, and he's just like rolling around trying to get up because he's bombed. And we'll leave what exactly happens to him till later.
If we have time to react, Bree is just trying to stomp out some of the grass, but there's so many people, she just keeps getting bumped around and like kind of disoriented.
Okay.
I think Cicely actually wants to, I don't know if this is something that she can do or if we're supposed to be exiting, but I think Cicely would actually want to try and still flip the hourglass
you have to.
during all this
Yeah.
chaos. She's like, everything's going to be fine as long as
Well-
it gets flipped and the sand starts flowing. We're
No,
good.
you all still get to try and do your
I was
jobs.
gonna say,
We're
yeah.
good.
we rolled, so we have to roll again. I rolled a 6, so I'm not
Ooh.
next.
Oh, I roll again.
Yeah, roll again, Jess. It might be you. It might be Christian.
I have a 5, yeah.
I also got a 6.
So it's me. Okay.
So it's Christian. It's gonna be Bree and Cicely in the end.
So Velamentov falls. What were you gonna say, Randy? Go for it.
No, I think that's perfect. I mean, like, Pop Jiffy just comes up and just goes like, you didn't stick to the script.
And he gets pushed off the stage, and he's not dead yet, but he's rolling around on the ground. Probably gonna get trampled or crushed.
Agamemnon purposely starts to like either step on you or roll you.
He's trying to get rid of him faster.
I was gonna say, are you like a
carefully
turtle?
nudges.
Are you like a turtle?
Yeah, he's
back?
I'm fine. It's just like you ever watch a really drunk person like like their flip flop falls off and they're trying to get it back on or something, or they just can't get back up. That's where he's at. He's just like I got this. Oh, I can get up. No, that's what he's doing right now.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
And then what? Me and Sarah roll
so
again.
yeah, so
Yeah.
because it'll be you guys trying to pull out the ritual, the last of the ritual.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a
Oh.
2.
Come on. So
This is great. So
because it's gonna end with the
yes.
oh, it's cinematic. Okay,
Yeah.
so Bree is just getting bumbled around, but her brain is on the corn turtle, the Pope corn, and she's got fire all around her. She can light it anyway. It's fine. And she runs forward. She rolls up her little robe sleeves, grabs a hunk of flaming grass, and just shoves it on top of the corn turtle. It sizzles for a second, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna fix and the section just explodes backwards and slams into her face, and she just falls hard backwards and is just unconscious."
Oh, that's great.
Oh no. Poor Brie.
Oh, that's really funny.
Wait,
So
so
now-
I don't
So it's
roll now.
You go. You just narrate how the whole thing ends.
Oh, okay.
Last woman standing.
Yeah.
Final
no.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah, the way it reads here, it says the final player, Cicely. The last player standing gets the special privilege of deciding how the story ends. Whether it ends in triumph or tragedy, it's up to you to lay it all out. Get creative and have fun with it. This is your time to shine.
Oh no, I'm the worst at this.
No, you're great.
No,
I'm the
you're
worst
not.
at
Jess,
this.
Jess, you know exactly
Okay.
what needs to happen. You know it. Come on.
I want to know what Rainey was planning, but all right, Cicely goes over. She's like, everything is fine. She sees Brie kind of going over, trying to pop the popcorn. She's gonna use her super muscles, try and heave this hourglass, flip it over. The cracks start to kind of like spider out, and she tries to like maybe lift it and flip it and like, or is trying to like hold the glass in place at the same time. And I don't know. She flips it, she gets it right side up, but then it just starts to spider more, and like more sand starts leaking out, and she's trying to like hold it in place, and it just
And I think that's when like the whole crowd actually, like when it tips and like when Cicely finally gets it to tip, like chaos kind of dampers down, and everyone for a second just like
there's just spidering. Yeah.
I would like
It's
to
just
say Velamentov finally gets to his feet for that and sees the cracks like forming on it, and he's standing like right in front of the hourglass, and he sees the cracks forming, and he's just like,
wait.
he gives like a salute because he's just gonna get covered
like,
in sand.
I was just gonna say, you're standing there. Zaya's also like curled up on the ground. It just shatters, and like sand is just like flowing out, and just a wave covers the entire. All the candles are gone.
It's a wave of sand. Velamentov
wave
just
of
like
sand.
goes down with the ship. Like this gets washed away with the sand.
down with the shit. Does I mean, obviously Zaya is directly underneath it, and she just gets buried in sand.
Yeah, Bree is unconscious on the ground. She's covered. She's gone.
Cicely's just like on the side, just like standing, holding it, like.
And I think that's it. I think like that's
What happens to the
right?
land afterwards, though? I mean, I guess the three of us are
political
dead,
fallout?
right? Probably.
Are you
I
dead?
know-
Did you drown in sand?
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, Bree's dead
There's a reason.
because you guys have all already met Bree.
It's Bui from.
She couldn't pronounce her name right anymore. It's Bui.
Wee, the zombie. Oh, that's from.
This was my origin story for Bui. You
That
noticed
was-
I had her play in the garden with the little toy.
I didn't even think about that. That's Sarah's
dumb
character
as a
from our
brick.
Berry Mary
Brie
game.
Brie was
Oh,
a
that's
she
so
was a
good.
zombie chef from our
Awesome.
game of Berry Mary that we played before we
Oh,
streamed.
that's so good.
I had no ideas for a character for this, and I was like, what if I just played someone really dumb? And I'm like, I could just play Bui
The
but
living-
alive.
Yeah.
And so she's Bree, the really dumb acolyte.
That's so good.
That's how she died.
Oh, that's so good.
Buried in sand, like sand from the hourglass. That's the ending. Actually, they get buried. They get buried, and then
These are
and
the
then
days of
Sister
our
Cornelius is just like sand from the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
Oh my god, that's good. All right.
Well,
Oh God.
that's been Our God is Dead.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was so good.
So there's an
Absolute
example
chaos.
of nobody having any real ideas going into this other than the character,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
The game is written in a really great way in that, honestly, I'm not sure if we even played it super correctly according to the rules as written, but it doesn't matter because we got there. But you know what? It's pretty easy to come up with a really funny, really stupid story for a couple hours with your friends.
Dust
Yeah.
to dust, asses to ashes, says Otter Poet.
Yup.
Asses. Oh, that's good.
No, this is definitely like if you want to just have like a party night with your friends and just want to play a
Yeah.
simple
Yeah.
RPG,
This is
one
good.
d6 each. It's super accessible. You can roll dice on your phone. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
Yep.
The whole rule book, including the cover page and like it's 12 pages. It is
Yep.
12 pages, and the text is like huge. Like it looks like it's almost like mobile formatting.
Yeah, and again, like we if you want to, if you have the time, listen to our modified roles episode about one shots that we just released, because this is that perfect third category that we talk about, which is very rules light games that you don't need to do a lot of prep for. In fact, this says don't prep, right? Because you're going to make these characters on the spot, tie them all together. It's a great way for people to learn how to GM. And again, GM-less game, but you take the lead, you learn that improv, you learn that focus on storytelling. That's really important when you go back to those games with a lot of mechanics and things like that. It's just, this is a very well done rules like
Excellent
game.
done. I would even say this
sets
is
you up to succeed.
I mean,
and have
it
a great
does.
time.
It sets you up. It's everything you need. There is everything you need to succeed and tell a great story is in it already. I would just like to add to that, like if you have friends who have never role played before, and maybe they don't want to play D&D or whatever because they don't feel like, oh, I have to have a $50 rule book and I have to roll these dice or whatever. But sooner or later someone's going to say like, what is this role playing stuff, right? This is a perfect game for you to say, hey, you know what? We'll order dinner. We'll get some Chinese or some pizza or something. Come on over and hang out. We'll have a couple people and we'll play a role-playing game and I'll teach you what it is. And, even someone who's never role-played before, it might be a little more awkward for them to get into the role and do it and create a character, but anybody should be able to pretty much step in and do this on its own. And, the structure for it is there. The prompts are there for them to come up with stuff. And people, by and large, are very creative if you give them the space to be creative in it. And this is, I think, is a really good example of something where you could use to do that.
I don't want to give away too much from that episode, that our podcast episode, but one of the big takeaways and something that Amber said was people who are new to role playing start with a game that's just goofy. You know what I mean? That's like Jess, you said gimmicky.
Have a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a great gimmicky game, right?
Mhm.
And one of the best things I think about this game for new role players is that there isn't a big focus on succeeding. The whole point is you fail. Like that makes it a lot easier for people to come in and not feel like they have to do everything right. Like it's funnier and it's the point to fail.
That's a
You know
great
what I mean?
point.
Extremely
Yeah.
low stakes. The
Yeah.
Oh,
stakes
for sure.
literally are raw. Like there's
It's
nothing
actually
there.
better if you fail.
It's so
Yeah.
much better if you
Yeah.
fail. Yeah.
And
yeah.
oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say this just focuses like all on creativity, right? Just trying to be creative.
I posted in chat the link to the itch.io bundle where we got this. It supports 2 organizations in Texas to support transgender education and transgender youth. You get 493 items. It's a mix of RPGs and RPG supplements for $5. $5.
Yep. It's crazy. The deal is nuts. I mean, honestly, a game we haven't played, but I know Christian has read and wants to play, I believe. Wander Home is in this.
Oh yeah,
Wander Home is in there?
Wander Home is in
Wander
it.
Home
Yep.
is in this bundle for $5.
amazing
Also,
game.
Noirlandia
Warlandia,
Damn the
yep.
Man Save the Music by
And
Turtlebone.
and Stygian Fox has a bunch of their titles in it. Things We Leave Behind, which is
Yep.
an award-winning collection of Call of Cthulhu scenarios. Which, I mean, it's the best one ever written, as far as I'm concerned.
And again, like
yeah.
Christian and I have been talking about it because we bought this weeks ago, and we've gone through. I've downloaded a lot of them, not all of them.
I haven't downloaded
But I
all
mean,
of them either.
even then, I mean, like, there's so many games in here. You know what? John Harper's Aegon. John Harper, the man who wrote Lasers and Feelings, who wrote Blades in the Dark.
I think Thirsty Sword Lesbians is in it.
I think Thirsty Sword Lesbians is in it, which is a great Powered by the Apocalypse game. You'll never hear me complain about Powered by the Apocalypse. Get in there, get it. You know, you don't need to play all these games, and you don't need to be nerds like us who want to read all these books and go, "Ooh, what's the mechanics? What's the whatever." But it just gives you a massive library to open up. A lot of these are solo games. So
yes, I was just going to say
love
there's a number
solo
of
games.
solo games. One I just saw that I cannot wait to dive into is Princess with a Cursed Sword.
I haven't sent that to Jess yet, but I've been meaning to. Jess loves all things princess, so there's that. There's also Butterfly Princesses in here. There's a game. Yeah,
But
And there's
definitely
also
give it a
material.
look.
There's also material for like Pathfinder and 5e too.
There is.
Third-party license stuff that you can throw into your Pathfinder 2e or 5e game.
All for $5.
And if you're like us or me and Christian,
I
and
was
have a
like
problem,
them.
if you're like me and Christian and have a problem, there's a cool game in this bundle called Inspiriles, which is a game. It's a tabletop RPG that's designed to teach you sign language as you play it. It teaches American Sign Language and British Sign Language. So obviously you can choose.
But does it speak Italian Sign Language?
I don't know how it works, but the nice thing about it is Inspiriles is their first game, and they also have, I believe, still going on Kickstarter right now, their expansion to that, Over Isles, which I immediately backed because obviously. And yeah, it's just that's like, I love games that do that. Like, they teach you a practical skill and do that. And you're playing a game. But anyway, yeah, like there's so much value in this $5.
And beyond, and even
for an
beyond the
amazing
big name
cost
games,
bundle.
there are games in there that like I've never heard of before by very small people. Like Our God Is Dead, and this game. What is it? Murder. Hold on a minute. I'll give them another shout out.
Murder Publishing.
Murder Publishing Incorporated and Jordan Palmer. Right, I've never heard of him before, but this is a fantastic game. And there are a bunch of other ones in there too. That I can't think of right now, but you'll find your own little treasures in there. I'll give you one. 3 Baddies and a Baby. It's a 1-page RPG. You're supervillains. The rent is due, and one of your sisters showed up with like your nephew or your niece that you have to babysit while you plan this caper to like make money for the rent. So you have to plan a supervillain crime, but babysit a kid.
Yeah, that's great.
Right, that's awesome. There's another great night. Everything's built right in there. You just make a supervillain. Another one was 5 Seconds, which is another. I think it's a 1-page RPG. It might be 2 pages, but it's everybody has a superpower, but that superpower only works for 5 seconds.
Oh, that's awesome.
What is your power going to be, and how are you going to use that to change the world? So
That's cool.
really, really cool stuff in there. Rune Cairn is in there, which I know is a zine that got a lot of really good coverage. It's kind of like an old school revival sort of thing. So there's a lot of games. Go buy it. It's $5.
Yeah,
You have $5.
honestly.
Yeah.
And it supports
yeah.
a good cause.
Even in this economy, you have $5.
So
Probably.
in this economy. Well, Otter Poet highlighted Pig Smoke, which is in this bundle. It is a role-playing game of Sorceress Academia. All right, that sounds dope. I downloaded it. I hadn't given that one a look yet, but now I'm going to.
But
that's funny.
that is it for today's weird bonkers episode of DMs After Dark. Christian, if you don't mind me stealing the outro.
Please, no, you will do such a much better job than I ever do.
Thank you so much for joining us, this weird impromptu chaos beast. Thank you for your patience with all of us dealing with scheduling issues. We are 6 adults who all have full-time jobs, and all of the men at the table have children, so all sorts of fun chaos. We will be getting back to good society for our next episode so that I can finally take that anxiety bubble off of my shoulders, which we love and we care for. Check out our newest episode of Modified Roles and all of our Modified Roles backlog on any podcast app worth its salt. If you do enjoy our podcasts and our shows, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and a review. Not only does it mean a lot to us and we'll love you for it, but it'll also help more people see it and maybe help more people learn about stuff, which is like half the reason we're doing this, is to like teach people cool things and show people, hey, RPGs,
Cool games.
do the thing. We are on all the social medias at DMs After Dark, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, dmsafterdark@gmail.com if you wish to reach out to us on the one-on-ones. And I believe that is everything. Follow us here on Twitch if you want to hear more, if you want to be notified whenever we go live, usually around 6:30-ish EST. We're always a little late, it's fine. If you want to subscribe, you can. If you have Amazon Prime, you can give us Jeff Bezos' money once a month, which is really cool because he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
He's certainly not going to pay it in taxes, so pay it to us instead.
Give it to us. We pay our taxes. Before I get thrown off the internet by the FBI agent watching me from my video camera, we love you all, and I think we're only a little sorry this time. This was good.
Yeah, we were good this time.
Team Wholesome. Yeah.
Team Wholesome was all here, represented.
Yep.
And
good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
everyone.
What's our till next time?
Don't we usually do like a stay faithful, stay frosty, stay
frosty.
Sandy?
Stay sandy.
Oh,
Yes.
stay sandy.
Stay sandy. Stay
Like
sandy.
sand through the hourglass. These are
These
the
are the
dreams
days
of our lives.
Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
I'm sorry about that one.
Good night.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up for another amazing banger by Lex Blaze and Daddy Paul. Touchdown to Heathrow, DP and me, bro. About to hit the club and turn that shit into a freak show. Look through the peephole, everybody geek, yo. Need to get girl with an extremely deep though. C6 midgets that be fighting, juggling. Maybe it's just me, cause my mind is struggling. Babes, boyfriend is acting like a clown. You know what's going down every time that we are down. Take a look through the peephole, yo. Everybody's getting geek, bro. Stop the hate and let them neeks know that we turn the club into a freak show. Turn the club to a freak show. Turn the club to a freak show. Turn the club, yeah, we turn the club to a freak show.